Hello again, time for a new video here, new day, and we're still at this Wijk tournament in the Netherlands 2011. And I'm choosing today a game between Magnus Carlsen, and as I've started to, he's been a rival because they are like, even since they were kids, they were the big rivals, Carlsen Nepomniachtchi. So people speak about the rivalry Carlsen-Nakamura, but I think Carlsen-Nepomniachtchi is the biggest rivalry of them all. They also played a few World Championship matches that Magnus won, of course, but and Nepomniachtchi was the second best player in the world for quite a bit. And let's get some computer analysis here and also turn on this one. And nowadays Nepomniachtchi play the Russian defense, the Petrov defense, but here he plays the Sicilian, going for the Najdorf. And Magnus plays this one. He also played this one against Nakamura, I think. And here against Nakamura, let's just show it here so you remember how it was. He played bishop e3, castle g4. It was a move that the computer liked very much, so this seems to be a good setup for white, this setup here. But he's doing something different now, a few rounds, maybe 2 rounds later against Nepomniachtchi. Nepomniachtchi probably prepared this line, but it's approved by the computer, so Magnus could have tried to play it again, but maybe he didn't want to play twice in the same tournament because Nepomniachtchi could prepare against it. So he plays the classical variation. This is also a line I played with black. And he does knight c6. It's a fine move here. Looks like the computer likes to do like this, apparently. I think this one is a little bit dangerous because of these shenanigans. b6 sometimes played to go here. And of course this can be a little bit dangerous. No, yeah, of course. This is something that white want to do and try to like attack here. Sometimes black takes like this, but see what happens. Generally in the Najdorf you don't want to play knight c6, you want the knight here for some reason. I don't really know why, but it's like the classical way to play this position is to put the knight on d7 instead of c6 like he does here. So let's see what happens. This bishop e3, I'm not so sure about it, maybe a4 at once was better. So it seems like it's the best to give up a pawn here. Yeah, and this one is hard to defend. Looks like the computer thinks black has sufficient play for the pawn here. In some ways, when he has played this one, you don't want to play a4 because you give this square, so sometimes a3 is better. The problem with this bishop e3 is that often black wants to like take here anyway, and just white just loses a tempo for that. As we see now, he took. Magnus interestingly took with the rook. Normally is to take with the bishop, I think. And again, black is giving up this pawn. That's quite interesting. I thought like it was normal to play like this, but okay, that's the point of the taking with the rook, that this could be like hanging here. Interesting. Okay, but the computer likes this one, just giving up the b pawn for nothing. And what's the point? So the point is to play like this. Ah, and the rook cannot defend here. I see the rook cannot defend here. So he wins back the pawn tactically. That explains it. Okay, the queen d4 is going back. I don't know about that. I think the knight is fine on e5, so that looks a little bit wrong to me. But maybe they are... He's like offering a draw here, but of course Magnus doesn't want that. But he should have, because, yeah, as we see, Jan won this game. Yeah, the e-pawn is in troubles here, so black is better now. He's won a pawn for nothing really. Okay, white got this one back on b4, so it's not a pawn, it's just a trade. Interesting that the computer likes black here. I guess it's this because this is a bit uncomfortable. And now bishop f3, when he takes, Magnus take with the pawn and weaken the kings there. That doesn't look correct. Looks better to take with the rook like the computer wants. Is there any good way to move this one? Not, I can't see any tactical. I don't see any tactical shot here, and the computer doesn't either. So it would have been better to take with the rook, because this is just this bishop is getting way too strong here with this weakened king here. So it's a clear advantage for black now. And he makes an interesting move here that I don't understand at all. How can this work? What if he takes it? Ah, it's rook a4 apparently. I see. That's clever by black. And of course, if your opponent makes a move like this one, then obviously you should think like, why can't I take the piece, and then you will see this. And Jan does that anyway. Okay, so queen g4 was inaccurate. Better was queen h3 apparently. Need to defend that one. Even if white's a pawn up, black is better, because this is just such a scary bishop, and sometimes knight g4 is possible, and maybe, yeah. Black definitely has good compensation here for one pawn, because white's king is just, especially when it's opposite colored bishop, that always favor the attacker by a lot. So yeah, that's very good for this is good compensation for black. Let's see what happened. Okay, so his plan was to take here, and obviously you have to take it. Black got back the pawn, but he had traded off his strong light squared bishop, so the computer thinks that white is closer to saving the game now. But apparently here he made a mistake. Instead of queen f2 defending here, he should have done this move. Because if it takes, then he can trade here. And this endgame is a draw, of course. If you move the knight. Okay, so he can start trying to trade some pieces here. If some pieces are being traded, especially if the queens are traded, then white would be better, but every piece that gets traded gets white closer to saving the game. Also, if queens are traded, then these pawns could maybe push. So let's see, what was the problem here? I guess he lost b2 now. Okay, now he can't take on b2 because bishop here and take here, and it's same simplification. So black tries that. He do rook e8, that's interesting. I think maybe f5 would also be interesting to cover like that, because generally you don't want to go into these kind of pins, but apparently it's fine. Yeah, he can do like this, and it's protected now. The rook is protected now, and he did f5 anyway a bit later. So apparently here is the decisive mistake by Magnus. He plays b4. I don't see why that is bad. Best was this one. It's a logical pin here, and after this, yeah, it's hard for black to avoid a queen trade, and if it's a queen trade, it's a pretty simple draw. Okay, I don't see why b4 is bad, but I guess it's just that he didn't take the advantage of this pin. So let's see, he played here. Now rook g2 was best apparently, but he did this. It's hard to understand the moves here, like why is queen a6 so good here. Don't really understand it. And this was a bit bad because it allowed maybe this exchange sacrifice here that Magnus plays. Let's see how that is. Okay, so you lost both the pawns, so definitely it looks like this exchange sacrifice wasn't very good, so maybe he should have tried something else. Maybe, like computer says, maybe you could do this one, because like I don't think you can take here because of this, yeah. And you win the rook. And if you take like that, you get an active rook here. And it's hard to protect because, yeah, if you this one and this one. Yeah. Okay. Like this exchange sacrifice was unnecessary, and looks like this position is only lost because of white's weak king here. And now he's losing both the pawns. If the queens are traded, there is some chances for a draw, but it's probably lost even if the queens are traded. I would guess that it's lost even if the queens are traded. So there is just no chance for white, because yeah, black can always try to, sooner or later he will manage to trade the queens here. If he wants to, yeah, like this. Now it's queens are traded here. And black gave up. So it was an interesting game here. Yeah, Magnus didn't play the opening perfectly. Sometimes here, probably Jan was a little bit better prepared also. Maybe Jan likes tactical games, so it was like up his alley here with this, and he got a good. I think if Magnus didn't play in GF3 here. If he played like this, I'm pretty sure that he would have held the draw, but this was just such a big positional mistake here that it was hard for him to defend with this weak structure here. If he had done Rook F3, my guess is that it would have ended in a draw, actually. So yeah, nice win by Nepomniachtchi, and we will see a lot of these games. So it's nice to see, to get like to know like what happened before all their World Championship matches. Next game we are looking at another fan favorite, Vladimir Kramnik against Magnus Carlsen. See you then.